Okay, class, good morning, everyone. So, before we start our new discussion this morning, let us have first a energetic, okay? Let us sing a My Tus Minus. Okay, let us sing My Tus Minus, okay? Everybody must participate and also sing. So everybody stand and let us have an energetic verse. Let us sing and dance my tus minus. Okay? Okay, let's start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My toes, my knees, my shoulder, my head. 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 Okay, give yourself a barangay clap. Before you take your seat, please arrange your chair and also pick some pieces of paper inside your chair. Um, okay, before we start our new discussion this morning, let us recap to our previous lesson. So who can get our previous lesson? It is all about e online communication. And so let us pray first. So in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So before we proceed to our topic, let us group yourself first into three groups. So let's start a count from Ella. 1, okay, 2, and then so all of the group 1 must sit in the right, and the group 2 is in the middle, and the group 2 in the left side. Okay, side of picture. Okay, so I give you 2 minutes to think what comes in your mind when when you saw this picture. Okay, so my question is, what do you think this picture is all about? What comes in your mind when you saw this picture? Okay, Mark. Um, it's about conversation. Okay. Who else? Communication. Okay. Okay. So all of you are correct. So give yourself a barangay clap. Okay, very good. So let us have first our classroom rules. So our classroom rules is, first is asking question. So you must ask question if you are not understand, or you are some clarify. Number 2 is respect and listen to your classmates. So you have to respect your classmates class and also listen to their opinion. And number 3 is respect and listen to the teacher. So you have to listen to me when I start a discussion. When I start talking here, you have to behave and listen to me. 4 is raise your hand if you want to speak. So you have to raise your hand if you want to answer. In when I ask you, you have to raise your hand if you want to answer. Be prepared for the class. So you have to be prepared class to what I were going to discuss this morning. You have also prepared. Be quiet when the teacher is talking. So of course, class, you have to be quiet when I started to talking here. Okay? Are you understand, class? Okay, very good. So next is um I have a second picture. So in a your group, so who can first answer? I'll give you 5 points. Okay. In your every group, who can have first answer. So in the first picture, all right. So you have to guess this. What comes in your mind? That okay, group one. Okay, very good, crying. So I'll give you 5 points, group one. And the second picture, so you have to guess. Okay, group one again. Okay, use a social media. Very good, group one. I'll give you 5 points. You have already 10 points. And the third picture, okay, group three. What comes in your thought, or in your mind when you saw this word picture? Okay, Inferno. Okay, I'll give you 3 points. And the last picture is, how to guess this. Okay, news. Okay, very good, group 2. I'll give you 5 points. So let's proceed. So from that picture, from all of that pictures that you saw, what do you think our topic in this morning? Who can guess what the topic this morning is all about? Okay, group 3. Verbal and non-verbal communication. Very good. Our topic this morning, class, is all about verbal and non-verbal communication. So let us define what is verbal and non-verbal communication. By means of verbal communication means sharing things by means of words, whether spoke or written. So that is verbal communication. In the second is non-verbal communication. It is communication without words, only visual cues. Introduce different types of verbal communication. Oral and written introduce the different types of non-verbal communication. Okay? So let's proceed. So let us have first our objectives. So our objectives is, at the end of this lesson, the students can first is distinguish the verbal from non-verbal communication. So you have to explain verbal and non-verbal communication. And second is identify the different types of non-verbal communication. And also, so you have to identify the different kinds of non-verbal communication. And third is communicate effectively by using proper verbal and non-verbal cues. So if you're going to have a conversation, you have to use the non-verbal and verbal communication. So let us have proceed. So first is we have a values focus. So non-verbal communication increase understanding of message. When the verbal and non-verbal communication are similar, it establishes better and perspective on the message and being sent. And the sense of message as well as receiver gets what is intended of meaning, and of the message can act accordingly. So that is our values focus. So you have to use the proper verbal and non-verbal communication. We have a facial expression. So what do you think that facial expressions belong to? It is a verbal or non-verbal communication? Okay, group 2, I'll give you 5 points. It is a non-verbal communication. The principal source of feedback. So this is the sign that there is someone telling you, but if even the cannot speak or they don't already talk about, but you all already know because of the sign, the hair facial expression. Maybe they are angry or happy. And B is eye contact. Eye contact is a part of nonverbal and most expressive elements of face-to-face communication. So it is very important, class, that you have to make an eye contact. If you're talking to somebody, to someone, you have to make eye contact. It is shows, class, that you are understanding, you are listening, and you are interested in that certain conversation. And C is body movement and posture. So if you have to stand up, stand straight, and give your body posture. Um, you have to breathe up, breathe out, and stand straight. And when you're going to have a conversation with someone, so it's very important. And the DS gesture, the movement that you make as part of your body, especially your hand. So you have to make a gesture if you're going to talk, just like me here. When I talking, I use my hand that express my ideas. E is haptics, also known as touching. So also sometimes if you're going to meet someone, you are going shake your hands, and so you are touching. So you have to make it also shake your hand and also touch her side arms, right? Her bicep. You have to make a handshake and also the same time touch her arm. Okay, and if is proxemics refer to the amount of space an individual naturally maintain between each other which communicate meaning. So it's also how it communicates meaning. So it is very important, class, that your conversation must focus on one topic and have also a meaning. So this is very important. G is voice. The way in which message is spoken is as important as what is said. Okay, class. The tone of your voice is also important in the conversation because it's also include, right? If you are shy or if you are confident with your ideas, it's very important. It's also matter of your voice when you're talking to someone, class, because voice is very important. Uh, the tone of your voice is very important when you're going to have a conversation. It shows your confidence with your ideas. It shows that if your voice is cannot be heard, so it means that you are not confident, and also other people would not also hear or understand. So application, the class will be, so I have an activity class. So first, um, the so this instruction. The class will be divided into three groups, and each group will be required to have a short scenario to be performed in front of. And of course, before coming up with the performance, there must be a script. The script should contain verbal and non-verbal cues for. So each of your group class, you have to make a scenario. You have to choose, maybe it is verbal or non-verbal communication. So you have to act in the scenario that um, they have a conversation with someone that it is used a non-verbal and verbal communication. So I'll give you a 5 minutes to prepare, and also um, 5 minutes to present. Okay, class, go to your. You have to prepare and plan to your activities, and I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, time's up. So you have to perform in front. Give a scenario about verbal and non-verbal communication. So first is group 1. So give barangay class to group 1. Okay, very good group 1. Next is group 2. Okay, give a mosquito clap to group 2. And the last is group 3. Okay, very good group 3. Give in victory club. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Victory. Are you happy to our activities class? So what do you feel? Okay, it's very interesting that you have now you have a clarity that how to use in nonverbal communication and verbal communication. You are must apply this in your daily life so that you have to being able to use a proper communication with someone, or maybe they are listening to you. In the next time you have to use this because this is very important class. So I have a question to you class. So complete this statement. The first question is, I have learned, complete this statement. First is, I have learned that. So you have to complete this. I have learned that. Okay, Mark. Okay, you have learned that verbal communication and nonverbal communication is very important to use in a conversation. Knowing that verbal and nonverbal communication is important because verbal communication is telling that you are verbal communication and nonverbal communications telling that you are a good communicator, and also you have a understanding about how someone is telling you. Maybe they lies or maybe they are telling the truth because of their body position, their sign, body posture, their use of hand, their voice, and all of that stuff you must notice when the someone tell you something. So I have activities. Please answer this in a Quizlet. I give you 10 minutes to answer this. You have to open your cell phone and go through the our group chat and click the Quizlet and answer the 8 question below. I'll give you 10 minutes to do that. And time would start now. Okay, very good. All of you are finished, so it's already time. And so your assignment is answer the following question. So the first question is, how can nonverbal communication to be used? Second is, what is verbal and nonverbal communication? And 3, what is nonverbal communication? Second is, what is verbal and nonverbal in teaching? Third is, what is verbal communication? Fourth is, how can verbal communication be used in the conversation? And 5 is, what is the example of nonverbal communication? So, to be fast, this class in the next meeting. Thank you, class, and thank you for your participation, and goodbye.